Welcome back to another episode of The Loco Fit Show, where we redefine what healthy means to you. I'm your host, Lauren Conlon, and this week I'm joined by a very special guest, my best friend, Chanel. Say hi.
Hi.
That's your cue. So we are recording this on my birthday. I am super old now. No, just kidding.
Shut up. I'm older than you.
Yeah. Okay.
You can't say that.
As soon as I
That's
said
so
it,
rude.
as soon as I said it, I said I should have said that in my head. Kind of like most of the things that I say, and then I'm like, wait,
He's older than me.
Did I really just say that? Was Michael Jackson a really good basketball player? Okay. Anyways, God, that was like the worst slip up of all time.
That was the best slip up of all time.
The best worst. So, context, we were at the PEC event, and
She's like, you got to record me because I'm going to do awesome.
I did not say that.
I know.
First of all, let's make that very clear. I was like, let me get some sick content because I never record myself, whenever I'm presenting. And so if you guys have noted from the podcast, I'm not really good at analogies, and definitely not good at sports analogies. So I don't know why. I mean, I know why.
You're not good at it, so why did you use that one?
Because I researched it, and I was like, okay, Phil Jackson. I remember him on Watching The Last Dance being a good
coach,
being a good player, but being obviously known as a coach. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of my whole point because I was doing a coaching based presentation. Mm-hmm. Anyways, I somehow mixed up Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan and said, hey, if you know anything about basketball, you guys know all about Michael Jackson. And then as soon as I said it, I was like, no.
Back up, rewind.
Oh my God. So,
teleport me out of this room.
Please, if I could just evaporate right now, that would be amazing. And I love that you got like your laugh in there, which was like hilarious. Anyways.
Died.
Yeah, it was on brand. Let's just say that. But today we are doing a Q&A. So we both put some, like the question box on our Instagram. And I just wanted to do a fun podcast. Like if you guys listen to the podcast, typically we're doing, a lot of heavy hitting topics. We're doing a lot of mental health based topics or different interviews or some coaching related stuff. And I kind of wanted to add like a fun podcast in there because we haven't done really like just kind of like a lighthearted fun one in a while. I think
even the one that we recorded before was like more or less more fitness based or more coaching based. I don't think we've done one like this before.
No, we definitely haven't. So I'm excited for this. And there will be definitely some fitness and definitely some coaching in there, but also some just kind of like fun ones. So buckle up. No, it's not that weird. I did ask for weird and juicy questions. Actually, there were a few that we're not addressing on the podcast. So first, the picture we used for this, which only like 3 people will remember. So I don't even know why I'm bringing it up, but there was when
we prompted people for questions, Lauren made this cute collage.
It's cute. Because
we decided it would be a great idea to do a Sunday fun day the day before she left Louisville. And so it was me, my husband, and one of his friends. And in the back of Jared's car, he has a Chewbacca that he buckles up. It sits in the back passenger of his car, and it's just what he's always had in the back of his car. And Lauren, being a Star Wars fan that she is, was like, oh my God, I'm so excited for Chewie, and decided that she would carry Chewie to most of the bars that day.
Also, I love stuffies. And
yeah, you do.
I love stuffies. And I love Chewbacca.
Also, the fact that you call them stuffies. Stuffed animals? What? Stuffies?
Isn't that what people call?
Or people call themselves furries, and then they like to dress up.
I am not a furry. Okay, let's get that straight. People are going to leave this podcast going like, wow, who the fuck is Lauren? I am not a furry. If that's what you're into, I'm all about it.
All about it because she likes you, but she's not one of you.
I don't want to be with you in that content. This is going really downhill really quick, as expected.
So Chewie, he came with us to every bar.
But here's the thing. Chewie looks a little rough. Like it's not like a new.
Oh, he's windblown. He's been in a Jeep.
Yeah, he is. He looks like Chewie looks like he's been on a bender for 7 years.
Yes.
Which actually is kind of what I looked like at the end of that 3-week trip. But let's start this with a really interesting one. What is your sign, Chanel?
God. I am Virgo with the moon rising and Pluto settling into the sun. No, I'm just a Virgo.
Well, no, you have the other things as well.
No, I don't give a shit about the other things. I'm being sarcastic because it matters none.
That's a Virgo response. Okay.
Yeah.
So I I'm a Pisces.
And I'm married to a Pisces, and my mom is a Pisces, and everybody in my life has been a Pisces.
A lot of people in my life are a Virgo. And so actually my other placements, pretty much all of mine are either Pisces or Virgo. And which makes a lot of sense because there's like this huge just duality in me of like this floaty, dreamy, intuitive, chaotic person. And then there's also like
the type A,
the
like
diligent, hardworking person.
The Virgo.
Yes. So it is like a interesting, and I asked you haven't done your, what's it called? Enneagram?
No.
Some people are like hung up on this thing.
And that's like, I think that's the reason why I'm not doing it, is because the people who are just like, oh my God, what is yours? And I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I am me. Like, that's again why the sign question is just like, I am me. I have my traits. I have things that are,
They're just like fun. I just feel like it's like fun to, we'll
do my Enneagram one day.
There's so many like things out there, right? Like horoscopes, Enneagrams, what's it called? Living design, life design. Have you heard of this one? Maybe I'm totally.
No, it's like
design life, something with the word design.
Yeah, it's
in it.
Human design.
Human life design.
Human design.
That, there's all these interesting things. I don't, let us know if there's other ones that you guys know of or have heard of. So now let's hit some heavy hitting ones. This is going to be fun.
Okay.
What are your pet peeves about each other? You go first.
Oh, you.
Chanel's like, I got a laundry list.
Well, the first thing is that you don't like sushi. That's just like a really hard thing for me to grasp. It's my favorite food. And in fact, anytime I'm going to be with Lauren, I have to get a sushi fix before I hang out with her, because she's so difficult in the fact that she doesn't eat sushi. Or like go to a poke bowl place. We gotta eat meat. We gotta eat chicken or beef.
When the fuck do I order chicken, bitch? I don't even like chicken.
Exactly. So it's beef. And I'm like, okay, so where are we going? What steakhouse are we going to go drop a bunch of dough at?
I like seafood. That's cooked.
Okay. And
you know this.
And then I get food poisoning one time. She's like, what'd you have? And I was like, ceviche. And she's like, there you go. That's why you have food poisoning, bitch. So that really made me mad.
I mean, hey, I'm just saying the two things kind of go together.
And Lauren is a fast walker, and I am shorter than her. So that's another one of my pet peeves.
Really?
Yeah, like it's a casual walk for you. And then I'm like,
oh, okay. I didn't notice that.
Today you were slower, but like most of the time you're a lot faster than me.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like a full-on workout. Like my Oura Ring's like, bitch, you gotta chill out. And then also, I hang out with you, and normally my Oura Ring hates me. So that's the other pet peeve.
A little chaotic, a little...
Yeah, just a little chaotic.
Hey, let's wake up really early. Hey, let's stay up late. Hey, let's go do this. Hey, let's... Just a lot of chaotic energy.
Yes. But I used to think like that I would need to like recharge after being with you. And I don't have to do that anymore. Like, that's not something that I think that I'm just like kind of past that now at this point.
Because you're just used.
I'm just used to it. Like, I'm just like brought into your element, and I'm just like, okay, we're in this wheel. Let's keep going. Let's just keep rolling with it.
Literally, that First Form video that they just made. So, First Form put together like a compilation of like bloopers. I'm going to try to get it and post it because it's literally so funny. And anybody who's been around me for like 5 minutes knows that this is like my stream of consciousness for pretty much at all times. There's like, I can do like a really serious take for like 10 minutes and then I'm just like a disaster piece. And you were like, this is why I can't hang out with you.
Yeah. I'm like, this 30-second compilation can sometimes be the entire trip, or it can just be like a blurb in the trip, and I never know what to expect. So I just have to be prepared for all of it.
Hey.
So
never know you're gonna I gotta keep you on your toes. You know what I'm saying?
So now you have to tell your pet peeve about me.
Bro.
Voice memos, I know.
So I get very easily distracted. If you guys hadn't noticed, and almost 300 episodes deep, I get very...
That's so impressive. 300 episodes?
Yeah, I think this will probably be like 275.
Dang.
Yeah. A little pat on our back.
I know, that's crazy.
I know, right? So I've done a lot of podcasts. Between the podcast that me and Celeste used to do, the podcast that me and Paul used to do, this podcast, and then just like interviews.
Your favorite format.
Yeah, I've probably done like 600 podcasts, you know, and
you've been on so many too.
Yeah, so
that's
it's just
great.
like it's I enjoy longer form. Also because I have all these trains of thoughts, it can be hard to package it all into a cohesive thing, which is super impressive for people who can, and hats off to you guys, but we all have strengths and that's not one of mine. So because of me being easily distracted, and Chanel, and this is not just Chanel, this is other people too, but when we're together, obviously we're together a lot, we travel.
And we work together a lot.
Yeah, when we travel, the reason we travel so well together is because we do all the same things. Like we wake up, we have some sort of morning routine, we have some sort of movement, we train, we eat similar-ish things. You know, we like similar stuff in terms of like what we like to do at night, but pretty much we like wake up, do some kind of activity, work, and then go do fun stuff at night. Like that's literally what we do.
Yeah.
But so we'll be together when we're working, and Chanel likes to send voice memos, which I do too, or videos, but she'll just do them. Like we'll just be sitting next to each other and she's just doing this. And I'm like, I literally cannot focus if that is happening. Like I have to physically remove myself, or now she knows, like when we're at the office, she's like, okay, I'm going to go send a voice note in like the phone room, and she'll go somewhere else.
Go over there.
Because I literally, as soon as like, I just can't focus on anything else. It's like, if there's a TV on, I don't even want to be watching it, but I'm just like
I could record a voice memo in, Jared could have ESPN on. He could be swinging his golf sim upstairs. Their dogs could be barking. The doorbell could ring, and I'm just still going. I can just keep going.
I can do that if it's other stuff, but not when it's like right next to me. Like I like a lot of like, there's sometimes when I'm listening to things, like I'll listen to really like chaotic music, and that allows me to focus. Or like when there's a lot of people like walking around or doing things, I can focus, but not when there's like sound. As soon as there's like a lot of sound, like if someone talking like in my like area, or if like the screen is like I'm seeing it, no, game over. Okay. So that is my pet peeve of Chanel, but now she knows, and we balance it out and it's all good. And then there was a follow-up. It was like, what are your toxic traits? And so what is your toxic trait? Upper and lowercase written, like toxic trait.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm kidding. But
so, really. My toxic trait is probably that I am somewhat intuitive about people's emotions, but sometimes I don't necessarily want to get into an emotional, draining conversation. Like I know that that needs to happen at some point. But like sometimes I like have that little boundary with myself, like I can't go there today, or I can't be that person today. And sometimes I feel guilty about that.
That's not a toxic trait.
I don't know. I don't really know how to answer that question then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't say, I guess it's toxic if you like don't say the follow up to that. Like, hey, I can't do this right now.
Yeah. Or I get really focused on work. So if like I haven't been able to do my work in the way that I want to do my work for that day,
like really stressed out.
I get really stressed out. So you've probably experienced that when I'm traveling. And so I end up kind of like shutting down. If like there's too many emails that I need to respond to, or too many clients waiting for me, like I'll kind of shut down.
Yeah.
So I've tried to be better about that, because realistically I can answer my clients within 10 to 15, 24 hour time frame. But I'm like, they just checked in, I need to answer them. And I'm like, I'm starting to kind of like be more cognizant of that. But you've probably experienced that traveling with me for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm like, I gotta do this now.
Yeah. And it's not even just that. It's just like that kind of shutdown of like, okay, there's a lot going on. And, but I think everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people can get like that, you know, and it's not abnormal to feel like overwhelmed with things.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like I probably have a lot of toxic traits, but I would say like one thing that it's so hard to like reel in is like I get very obsessive over things, like to like stupid things too, you know, like I want to post this like picture, but I need to move this, and then it has to be, and then I will spend 5 minutes on something that has zero relevance in my life.
Yes.
And then I'll be like, whatever, it doesn't even look, I'm not going to use it.
Yeah, like I'll post something in like 30 seconds and I see you like fretting over it sometimes. And I'm like, it's okay, just post it.
Oh no, I'm so like, because to me, there's like a design element to it and I want it to look a certain way. So when things don't look how I want them to, then I don't want to do it at all. Which again, for certain contexts, literally matters none. So I'm saying this is a toxic. Like I'm aware of this.
I used to be like that with my Instagram. Like I used to want, like when I was doing a certain look, when I was doing those up and down photos and like adding white borders, and
it's even like a like a boomerang. I'll be like, no, I didn't like how this one it's just like an obsessive thing that I get. And not even just with Instagram, just with everything.
Yeah.
You know, like I get very no, that is important.
It is
but
important.
Yes.
I like
I
fonts.
can get very too in the weeds over things, and that has perks, but it also has a lot of downsides. Like, I'm saying this in a way that like it doesn't matter.
Okay.
You know, obviously there is a time to be like obsessive over things, but I can get it. I know I get like that over things that are fucking stupid and pointless. So, what is the most random spur of the moment thing y'all have done together? Austin?
Dallas to Austin.
Yeah.
We took a little one-way flight and we were like, we're just going to do this.
A little quick trip.
This was last
reconfiguration.
January.
Yeah. Oh my God. Remember? And
It feels like forever ago, to be honest, but
dude, right?
we did the PEC in Dallas. You presented, I did not, but you had your team there. And then I just kind of jumped into that situation.
Yeah, we got
too.
a Airbnb, like a big Airbnb to do like content in. So we flew in early to do some content. And then
And like 2 days before my trip, Lauren was like, want to go to Austin?
hey, can you come to Austin?
And I was like, sure, I'll figure this out. So she made me fly Southwest.
Oh, actually, no, that's my other fucking pet peeve.
Oh, yeah. That is your pet peeve.
Bro.
You hate that I am so...
Yeah,
Delta
Southwest is the fucking tits. Anybody who works for Southwest who's listening, I love y'all. I love everything.
Y'all will leave me bleeding and not even care about it.
That shit was pretty bad.
It was. Blood was pouring down my hand,
Okay,
and
that's a little dramatic.
the flight attendant was like, "I'll get to you in a second."
As if that couldn't happen on Delta. Is everybody on Delta a peach who works there?
Well, first off, they give you a hand sanitizing alcohol wipe when you first
You would want to
get
put
on.
you want to put hand sanitizer on an open cut. That would have felt great.
I don't care what it feels like. It would have cleaned it. It would have cleaned it. A clean freak over here, not even acknowledging that I was getting germs into my open wound. Anyways, yes, that's another toxic trait of mine. I am Delta all day. I'm born and raised in Georgia, so of course that's what I grew up flying. But at the same sense, like, they're the superior airline. Just face it.
No, I don't think so.
All right.
But I would say that was a spur of the moment trip. We had the best time. Those
Best
2
time.
days were so fun. We went to Industrious, which is the office, got to work there. We had the photo shoot of all photo shoots at Museum of Ice Cream.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that Museum of Ice Cream being there.
That was so fun. We did that. We had good food, it was just a really good trip for
super inexpensive. You did the Sonder?
Sonder. Yeah,
Sonder was great.
So think of it as like a Airbnb with like more.
Well, more standardized.
Yeah,
It's not as random as some an Airbnb can possibly be.
Yeah,
Oh
like
my
an
God.
Airbnb might be like, oh hey, you have like one plastic fork that's like missing a prong.
Yeah,
We're like, okay.
and we're just going to maybe give you sporks instead. We
yeah,
won't tell
or not have toilet paper.
Yeah.
Honestly, Airbnb went so downhill. Like a few years ago, it was so nice. I rarely now stay in them because of like it's just not even worth it unless you're with a big group. Then it makes sense, obviously. But rarely.
But if you're by
now,
yourself, yeah,
no.
The Sonder thing was great. It was like
It's like an apartment. Yeah,
apartment complex that's specifically for people for short-term, long-term stay. They had full amenities, so it was just like.
There was a gym.
Yeah.
There's like a pool, and then like okay, hey, you're gonna get like these dining sets. You're gonna get this.
They have it all on their website. I almost booked that for Philly, but then I ended up finding like one of my favorite hotels for it. But I almost booked a Sonder for Philly.
Yeah. So they have it's Sonder. So we stayed there, and then we went to like we found all the like cool
Speakeasies.
goth bars, and it was great. So that was definitely probably the most spur of the moment trip. But I feel like a lot of our trips are kind of just like, hey, you want to go to this? Okay, sure. Like, and we just kind of
Like we
plan
kind of
it.
check in with each other and like, hey, what are you doing? Okay, well, I'll do that. Or if
Yeah.
you want to come to mine, and I actually feel like a big dick about the Philly thing now.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's all good. You didn't even know I was born there.
I know, but I
Anyways.
forgot you wanted to go there.
Yeah, I know.
I know. We'll do it again if I like it, or if I'll be like, I saw the Liberty Bell and it was just a bell.
I haven't been. I mean, like I said, I was born there, but moved when I was really young, and I just feel like there's a lot of like really cool ass like museums and different things up there, and like even like DC. Like I've never been there.
Ooh, I like
and
DC.
I feel like there's a lot of that, and I think like a lot of those museums are like free too, which is
Most of them, yeah. In
interesting.
DC, yeah.
And I heard there's a big foodie scene, so if anybody could confirm,
DC is great.
so yeah, maybe we'll do that. All right, biggest fear.
that I'll never retire.
Oh, whoa.
I told you that just on our walk. Like, I just don't think that I'm ever going to be okay with not physically working or fearing that I'll never feel like I've achieved what I want to achieve by the time I reach that age. Like, it's going to hit me and I'm going to be like, frick. Like, I'm supposed to be done by now. I'm supposed to have accomplished what I want to accomplish. I'm supposed to be...
that's not the vibe I got from that conversation at all. You seem like good with it.
Well, like I feel like I'm going to have to be good with it when Jared's ready to retire. And then I'm not going to like be there yet.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Or
that makes sense.
Or that like I'm not going to want to or feel comfortable like monetarily wise to do it at a certain point.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. That's retirement like scares me.
I know.
Or like are all my ducks going to be in a row? Are all my financial situations going to be like settled? Am I going to be ready to just like collect money and not make money?
Yeah,
like that concept of just using money and not having money coming in.
I don't think I'll ever, I mean, I obviously will work in a different capacity when I'm older. But I just envision myself always doing something.
Like I'll be that like 65-year-old personal trainer who just like shows up at your house and is like, I'll take you for a workout.
Yeah. Or I'll be like I'll be like a museum tour guide.
Yeah.
Or like I'd do some shit like that.
I could see you working at like Sephora.
Oh, that would be fun. I feel like there's probably like an age limit there. I'm not going to hire a 70-year-old.
Maybe
in that many years, they'll be all about it. But I could just picture myself doing something very like personable where I'm like talking about things that...
And I think it has to do with our industry being a little ageist, that the aging process stresses me out because of how ageist our industry is.
True.
So that's like the root stem of that fear is like, I'm expiring.
Yeah,
I'm getting old.
There's certain ages.
And then you just were like, oh my God, I'm old at 31.
No, but there's definitely certain industries where like the older you are, the more... I don't want to say respected. I mean, I guess respect is one of those things.
Hopefully that is the case.
Yeah. Well, who knows with this fucking industry, but that's a whole different podcast.
Yeah, for another day.
How often do you get hit on or flirted with in person?
Lauren was like never. And I'm like,
oh my God,
we have an entire night where you wore one shirt. And what did we call that shirt? That was Austin. That was Austin. Wow. What did we call that shirt?
What a night.
What did we name?
Like it was like a free dinner shirt. I don't know. I've never done this one. I will never do this
she
ever
hates
again.
Me for this.
Yeah, other pet peeve. Okay, so
I was a bartender, worked in the service industry like my whole early part of my adult career. And if there's somebody at the bar who's intoxicated and just throwing money at everybody and trying to prove their point, I'm going to let them prove their point and just continue throwing money. So I made sure that myself and Lauren and the servers that evening, that we were all on the same page and that these servers were going to make their money and that we were going to make our food money or whatever, however that happened.
Finesse this dinner. I don't know how people do this all the time. I was like palpably uncomfortable.
Yeah, you were.
Like I literally felt like my skin crawling. So just a background. So we're at this really nice,
super nice.
What was the name of the steak? That place was
so good.
Banging. Perry's.
That's right.
If you're in Austin, I know it's like a chain. It's like a small chain, but
it's a Texas steakhouse chain. I don't think that's outside
really
the
good.
Texas area.
So we go there. We like sit in the kind of like bar seating. So we're like at a table, but it's like
it's in the bar.
Yeah.
Like people were walking around.
Yeah.
It was bar.
And I'm just trying to explain. We weren't like at the bar ledge, like eating. So we're like at this table and there's clearly a group of like 10 to 15 guys, in the corner. On like a
business trip of some sort. Yeah.
Some business situation. You could tell like money, just the way they're dressed, like just loud. It was like a Monday and they're out, balling out. So anyways, paint this picture and they're coming over and they're, talking. Okay. Like no big deal. And then, let's get you a drink. And like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not going to turn down a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Definitely not want to turn down a glass of wine. But then they kept being like super persistent. And then it was getting like very, very uncomfortable. And then the guy was like,
mind you, we never got up out of our seat ever.
I was like, I am not getting up, even if I have to go to the bathroom.
We stayed there. We made eye contact. I like made sure the server and I were on the same page because I could see her serve stand where she was like inputting our information with his information, and all the food and everything was getting transferred. And she was like, I got you. We're taking care of this. I'm going to make my money and you guys are going to be good too.
And I was just like, oh my God.
And I think it's because it was behind you. I could see her. Mm-hmm. All the servers were right behind your head. And like, I could see what was going on the whole time.
I mean, I know these people aren't going to like abduct us. I wasn't like worried about that. I just don't like when people have something over you. And especially in a situation like that where there's like an expectation that's set, and that just really bothers me.
See, I think there's no expectation there whatsoever.
There was definitely an expectation.
No. Absolutely not. Because we were never moving from our seat.
No, of course we weren't. But that was what the goal of them buying us dinner would have been, to go wherever they were going.
Yeah, but
so that's the expectation.
Well, we're in charge of our own destiny.
I know, but
we
it's still
can sit down.
It's still
and stay in our place.
I just don't like taking things from people when anyways.
I loved that the servers.
But not gonna lie,
yeah,
I'm kind of glad because it was a very, very expensive dinner. So I'm like, hey, this was a nice way to save like $300.
And I think our servers walked out with like over $100 a piece.
Yes, because we tipped them on top of the guys. So they made out. Everything was
everything was fine.
Yeah, it was fine. But I was.
But like, you can just keep wearing all of those shirts. Again.
That shirt was a great. I really didn't even think it was that great, but.
I mean, it's a good shirt.
It's a pretty good bodysuit. Of course,
it's from Fashion Nova.
It's a black bodysuit that was like $20 on Fashion Nova. And I'm trying to think, do I have like a picture in it? But it was.
Oh, I have a picture of you in it that night. I was like, that's what we called it. Free steak shirt. Free steak shirt. Because I'm sitting across from her so I can see the shirt, obviously. And I'm just like taking a picture of the free steak shirt.
What a night.
Thanks Fashion Nova for my steak.
That was a trip. Yeah, sponsor me. So no, I don't feel like I get flirted on in person much, but I mean, that was an extenuating circumstance.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super flirtatious in person. I'm very reserved. So maybe I'm like you. I don't really know.
Yeah, I'm very talkative.
Yeah, you are so talkative. You will talk to anybody. We're like in line at Publix and she's like telling her life story. And I'm like, can we go now? I'm ready to eat this hummus.
I am not telling my life story.
Sometimes.
Okay. Anyways, Pisces things. Okay.
Also a Pisces thing, like talking
That's why me and Jared get along so well.
My husband's a Pisces and like, I don't even
literally
speak
last
at
time
all when
I was
they're
at
together.
Their house, he slammed the door.
Yeah, I did. I remember that. I was like, I was trying to pack for this trip that I agreed to go on. And it was like, we were doing back-to-back trips. And now I will say
You preface it. I don't like back-to-back trips. Okay.
I don't like back-to-back trips. So I'm going to be really stressed when we come back to my house and I have to pack for another trip. So I did prepare you for that. I did warn you. I was a good friend.
But
we made it. And I definitely did slam the door on their face.
Me and Jared were like,
oops.
We stopped for like 3 seconds and then we just kept
going. And I knew that's what would happen. Like, I'm going to close the door and they're going to be like, oh shit. And then they're just going to keep going. And they did. And it was fine.
Yep. Who are your fashion icons?
Ooh. So I don't quite have a fashion icon. I have a a feel that I like try to emulate, I guess, in my fashion. Like, I want to be like, I used to call it like bro chic, but I don't even know if that's like, I don't know. Is that politically correct? I have no idea.
What?
I don't know.
I'm the fucking worst person to ask.
So like bro chic is this like tomboy, chicy like look. Like it could be, I don't even know if the word tomboy is like okay to use anymore either. I have no idea.
Why wouldn't it be?
I don't know. Podcasting is weird because you're like putting words out there that people are then going to put in your mouth in a different way. Hence my fear of podcasting.
I guess.
But
I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
Tomboy chic.
Yeah. So bro chic. So it's not really like an icon because I mean, maybe there is somebody who like emulates that, but I don't really know much about pop culture. But I will plug Dressed in Lala is like that brand that I've been shopping at recently. And it's like there's some pieces that are super outlandish and like beyond what I would wear. But then there's some pieces that just kind of nail it. And I'm just like, oh my God, I have to buy that. I have to buy that. And so it's become kind of like a weird thing. But I just feel like, bro chic. I don't know who emulates that. So tell me who, and then I'll start following them and looking at their fashion.
Yeah. When I got this question was good, but I was like, I don't know. I guess I kind of always joke like I have a goth chic is kind of like my look, which I don't know if that's even accurate, but again, it's more of like a feel.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's
Morticia is your fashion icon.
Yeah.
So you do have one.
I guess. She has like one outfit, but yeah.
Yeah.
That idea of it being like dark and basic, but then also like a little bit edgy. Like I keep pretty basic pieces, and then there's like usually something. Like there's some pop of something.
Yeah.
Is usually kind of how I put things together. And I don't ever really wear anything that people, well, I don't know. Say people be like, oh my gosh. Like whenever I wear things that even if they are kind of more out there, it's still like, oh, this fits you.
Yes.
You know? So I don't really know either.
Yeah.
But it's like simple, but then there's going to be like a pop of something.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I go for. And I like timeless stuff that I can mix and match. Probably as like a byproduct of just traveling a lot.
That's what I was going to say too, is like you and I both travel with just basics.
And then we'll add little
like,
pieces.
Yeah. If there's something fun we have planned for our trip, we'll like buy something or make something specific for that particular outfit. But for the most part, we're just moving the same pieces around in it's like a math equation. Like when it's like n exclamation point. What's that in math? And it's like exponential outfits being made with one thing.
Okay.
It's like on the Texas Instrument TI-83 calculator, n with an exclamation point.
Okay.
I think of our fashion in that way. So it's like we'll pack one shirt, but that one shirt can go 3 and 4 different ways. Or these leggings, I can wear them in 3 and 4 different ways.
Yeah. I'll bring 2 pair of jeans and then 5 tops.
5 tops,
and then, a jacket and 2 flannels and, I might wear it. I might tie it. It's always something. I think that is just a byproduct of doing.
Exponent. What is that?
Bro,
that's going to stress me out now.
Okay. We can look it up after.
Okay.
TI-83
calculator.
Okay. Team Selena or Team Haley? I figured you would know this. I had no idea what this was all about.
Me either. So like Selena, like
so apparently
Selena, the movie, the Latin artist.
No. Oh. Selena Gomez.
Oh, okay.
And Hailey Bieber apparently have some beef on the internet.
Oh,
okay.
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
The only thing I know about Hailey Bieber is that she has a skincare line and she's known for these chrome nails.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that was Justin Bieber's wife, or that he dated Selena's husband.
Oh, that's the beef, is that they used to date? Or
no,
Bieber
like somebody made fun of, like Selena posted something and then Hailey Bieber, Danielle was telling me this.
Oh, okay.
Something about she made fun of her on Twitter. I don't know. I can't keep up. But I figured maybe you knew more about anything relevant than I did. But as usual.
We're the same there.
As usual. What's going on in the world? I live under a rock.
Yeah.
Especially with stuff like that. I'm just like so absolutely disconnected unless it's things that like people that I really know. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then even then it's like, what's happening?
I don't know.
All right. Last of the fun ones. Okay. Fuck, marry, kill.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Idris Elba.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Do you know who that is?
No. Who?
Yes, you do.
Who?
I might be saying his name wrong.
Oh.
Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. Okay, Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
You know who that is?
Yeah.
And Gerard Butler. Okay.
I might need to know their movies they're in.
Gerard Butler.
Sorry. I know Ryan Reynolds, but Gerard Butler's in some action movie, right? He's like really known.
300.
300. Okay, thank you.
But do you know who that is now?
Show me a picture.
Okay, well, this is Idris Elba. I'm probably saying his name wrong.
And what's he in? That's not ringing a bell when I look at it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm trying to think of the last movie that I saw him in. He was in Suicide Squad, which is what?
I don't know if I saw that. I don't think I saw it.
Okay, well, can we just look at his picture?
Can we do an IMDb, please? IMDb.
I'm like really trying to like do this quickly. Okay, this is him. But it doesn't matter. Like,
okay.
This is him.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to go with marry Ryan Reynolds 100%. So.
Okay, this is Gerard Butler.
Okay.
Is this not ringing a bell?
This is
not ringing a bell.
No, it is. It is. It is. I'm going to marry Ryan Reynolds, and I guess I'm going to fuck Idris Elba, and I'm going to kill Gerald Butler. I know that's what you were I knew that's what you were gonna do, because I don't really I don't know. You got to make me laugh, and literally the only person on there that's gonna make me laugh is Ryan Reynolds.
Well, first of all, you don't know that. You didn't even know the other two guys.
No, I didn't know the other two guys, so it didn't really matter.
And you don't even know. Well, actually, Ryan Reynolds is pretty funny.
Yes, he's hilarious.
I'm pretty sure he's
funny. And I can't physically be with somebody who's not going to make me laugh.
Yeah.
Hence, my husband.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you guys have ever listened to the podcast, you know that Gerard Butler all day.
Yeah. So
all
there
day.
We go. We're not going to fight over him ever.
No. Which I wasn't worried about it because he was going to be mine anyway.
Yeah.
Literally, so everybody knows him from 300.
Yeah.
Because that's a pretty popular movie.
Mm-hmm. But he's been in a recent one that I actually like better, obviously. I just can't think of it.
He's been in a lot. He
is actually funny.
Yeah.
He is funny. I should have given him that.
Him in The Ugly Truth, that is who I would marry. So this is like a 2009 rom-com.
Really?
Oh my God.
A rom-com?
No, dude. It is
I
can literally
you
quote.
Like rom-coms?
This movie. I can quote the whole movie. So everybody's already heard me talk about this. Okay. We got to watch it. We got to watch it. It is hilarious.
We have to watch Shrinking. What? Shrinking. We'll get there.
From who's in that? One of these three?
No, Harrison Ford.
Ew, I don't fuck Harrison Ford.
We're not talking about that. I'm just saying. I'm letting you know we're watching that show soon.
Okay. It's a show. Oh, you know how I feel about shows.
I know, but we're watching it, so just deal with it.
How many episodes?
There's only 3. You're not that behind already. It's going to be okay.
It's I don't turn my TV on ever, right?
But you watch The Mandalorian.
No, listen. I don't turn my TV on.
I know.
And then as soon Obi-Wan is out, the time it comes out,
I know.
I'm
well, the good news is you already have this network if you're watching all of that.
And then,
because it's on Apple TV.
I don't have Apple TV.
I thought you have you have Plus.
No, I don't.
Then how are then how are you watching Mandalorian and Obi-Wan?
That's on Disney Plus.
That's what I mean. It's on Disney Plus.
Okay.
I think. I don't know.
There's so many.
I'll figure it out.
Okay. Well, anyways, marrying Gerard Butler, because that could happen anyways. I've already checked. I
actually think that would be realistic.
He's a few years younger than my dad, so I don't feel as weird. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay, that's good.
And you were questioning me when I was 60's not really outside your wheelhouse.
Wow. How old do you think my dad is?
Not 60.
No. Gerard Butler's 55.
Yeah.
But he can still get it.
Okay.
Man, I don't know. Between... Ryan Reynolds is hilarious.
I know.
But Idris is much better looking.
He is.
And if I'm only I don't need someone to be funny if I'm only going to fuck them once.
Okay, true.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
you're going to
Ryan,
kill,
you're out.
You're killing mine.
I'm really sorry.
But I killed yours, I think, didn't I?
Yeah.
I did kill yours too. So that's funny.
Hey, we figured it out. I'm just still can't believe that you don't. I had to look this up.
Sorry.
Live.
My bad. I literally thought that Team Selena was about Selena, the
I know
Latin artist.
Yeah. No.
So I'm just old, I guess.
Yeah, we're like Selena the singer and Halle Berry. Haley, who's it? Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on. What is 75 and how was it? So are you happy with the results? You look amazing. So I know I've talked about 75 Hard a lot. And the reason I even added it in here is because I wanted to let you guys know that next week there is a whole podcast coming out about my experience with 75 Hard, what it is, what it isn't, because I think that's important to talk about too. And
I think that is too, because I think a lot of people on the internet have
very much misunderstand it.
Yes.
So all about that. And then I answered some questions that I got. So I wanted to add that in there to let you know that if you're listening to this, that you'll hear a whole episode about that next week. Favorite music to listen to while you work out?
We are somewhat different on this. Because I don't like things like heavy metal or Tool or what other ones? I just know you like Tool. No, that is not.
Tool's not heavy metal, but yeah.
What is it considered?
I would just call that rock. I wouldn't call it metal.
Yeah, either or. Don't like rock, don't like heavy metal. Can't stand it. I literally only want to work out to hip hop and rap.
Yeah.
Hardcore rap. Hip-hop.
Yes.
Yes, that's it. Or like Odessa. I'm cool with that.
See, yeah, for me, it's either like it's rock. Like I love pretty much any kind of rock. I mean, it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. You know, like there might be like, okay, I want some like really heavy stuff or some more like I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
You know, to me, like if I listen to metal, like it's very like metal can almost be like calming to me too.
Oh, no.
It's so funny. Like
Literally that song, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor, come on and my anxiety level goes to 900.
again, I don't think that's considered metal, but yes.
Oh, what is that then?
It's like a type of rock, but like I'm talking like real metal, like very like methodical, like we'll play some in the car and you'll probably
No, please don't do that.
Okay.
Okay.
So pretty much any kind of rock, but like the type is going to depend on like the mood that I'm in.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two is going to be like hard rap, like just kind of like heavier.
But you and I
more,
both like Jack
aggressive.
Harlow.
Yeah. I don't really work out to him though.
What?
So
Okay.
perfect setup is like something that's like I like aggressive. So like whether it's like aggressive rock or aggressive rap, like that's more of my style for working out.
Okay.
And then more stuff that's like
Anything I would
vibey
listen
and fun.
Anything I would listen to in the car while I'm driving is what I would want to work out to.
Oh, see,
Yep.
no.
Same. It's all the same.
no, I have like
I can work out to the same things I listen to in the car.
I also sometimes work out in complete silence.
Same.
So
I can do that as well.
sometimes I enjoy that. You know, like I'm not always trying to like I love having music on. But sometimes with lifting, I want to just be able to like focus on that part. And there, I mean, I'm not going to say I never listen to something like Jack Harlow when I lift or like Odessa. Like I do like those things, but I find that when I'm listening to stuff like that, like especially like I love, you know, like obviously EDM and house and like all that kind of stuff. But sometimes it's too up that I'm like I'm not focused
in your workout.
So I like that for more like cardio.
Okay.
So lifting is different to me than cardio. But it also, again, it just really depends on my mood. It's more like mood based what I want to listen to. But I would never be like, oh, I'm going to actively put on Odessa to like lift. I don't think I would do that. If it came on, I'd be like, okay. And then if you guys know the big booty mixes from Two Friends, those are
good.
Yeah, those are amazing
really good
to lift to. So
and your birthday playlist, I think, would be good to lift to.
Yeah, but I have to be like, oh, it's super fun.
Yeah,
which we'll drop that in the
show notes.
Yes, literally, like it is such
it's a pretty good one.
It's so good.
But you have to like hip hop circa like 2000 and
2000.
Yeah, 2000.
Yeah,
you have to
you
have to like hip hop from there.
It's got to be like 2000 to 2012 is kind of like the vibe, but it's
basically
super fun.
It's every song that I was obliterating drunk to in my college career.
So it's like the perfect. I made it to where it was kind of like a pregame party, but also you could lift to like vibe.
Yeah, it's great. It's perfect.
So,
plus I think I lift to those kind of songs because of the memories that I had from then, or the lack thereof of memories.
Yeah, I'm transported back to blackness.
Yes.
Like I'm just so blacked out, but it was so fun. Yeah, that's pretty much where my brain goes. But
yeah.
See, for me though, like I have to, it's a certain type of lift, I guess. You know what I mean? Because I can find myself like, I get in the music and then I'm kind of like dancing and like hanging out. And then I'm like, oh fuck, I got a shoulder press.
Like, do you have certain songs that you would like to do like a PR to? Because I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think that it's just like when stuff is too like either like dancey or like whatever, then I just lose focus. So that's where I more so like.
And for people who are only listening, she is actually dancing in her chair right now.
Yeah,
she is. She's like, I'm in it already.
So that's why I love that kind of stuff for like cardio.
Yeah.
Right? Because I can just be like.
I feel like you would hate like spin classes because they do the music for you and you're supposed to like go to the cadence of that music. And I feel like that would stress you out.
Yeah, I used to spin a lot, but I was like in high school.
Okay.
So I don't remember now.
I feel like now it would stress you out.
Yeah, I just like...
Because you have to like pedal to the beat of the music. And if it was something you're not into and like you can't...
I mean, I would do it, but I don't know. I just think about it. I'm like, not that I would... Like, I just have no interest. I'm not like, oh, I want to go to a spin class.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't
Sometimes I get the desire to go to a spin class.
Yeah.
But I think
I don't know why. It's not that I don't like it. I just don't ever really have the desire to go.
It's gotten kind of expensive now that like Peloton exists. So like, I feel like a lot of the classes are raising their prices. Because they have less participants, so they want to make more money per head.
Oh, okay.
And so that's why I haven't done spin.
Oh,
But I like it. I used to teach it for a while.
Yeah, I used to take it like religiously in high school. I was a psychopath, but I used to be doing all the things. What are your unpopular opinions or hot takes on the fitness industry?
Okay.
This could be a whole ass
I know.
podcast, not gonna
it's
lie.
ageist, so that's my hot take.
Oh, okay.
We can go there. I already said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, go there.
Yeah, I feel like the industry as a whole rewards the young and the upcoming. And that's always going to be the case with a lot of industries, though. But I feel like the elder is less respected, or like the more time under your belt that you have in the industry is getting less respect, or like less accolade, or like a coach can come into the scene and they don't have, like me saying that I've been 15 years coaching, or you saying you've been 12 or 13 years coaching, like it just like rolls off people's heads or brains. Like it just kind of doesn't matter. And
Which I think is so
wild to me.
weird.
Like I can't imagine entrusting somebody with my health and fitness who's been doing it for a year. Like I just that's just me. I wouldn't do that. But again, I think I have certain health parameters that I know are a little bit more difficult to work with. So maybe that's why I wouldn't do it, and I would want somebody with so much more experience and whatnot. I mean, every coach that I've ever had more coaching than myself. And that's what
everybody starts somewhere.
Yes,
so we all have to, we all have to be the coach who only
starts.
has 2 years or a year. But to your point, I think that there is a larger percentage of people who see something new. It's kind of like that shiny new object syndrome or whatever.
Again, shiny objects and something.
My analogies. That seems like it shouldn't be the case when we're talking about coaching. Yeah. But it seems like it is the case.
It is the case sometimes.
And it's just it's a very interesting thing. And this is not to downplay, because everybody does have to start and somewhere. Be new. But your point is that people seem to gravitate towards that when there is other options, I guess, which is just really interesting, because we continuously hear the same types of messages, and it's like, why wouldn't you, like, hearing a message where maybe somebody did something, a client coming and complaining about certain aspects of coaching that were probably happening because someone was inexperienced and new, but not attributing it to that.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And then like the industry as a whole doesn't really talk about that. So I think that's a really good point. And
because there's definitely learning curves to being a new coach. And I think a lot of times when I get somebody who says, this coach just, wasn't listening to me, wasn't, they take it more and internalize it when it's just the coach being a little bit inexperienced and not having as many clients under their belt and not have as many troubleshooting skills. And so I do think that, again, everybody's got to start somewhere. But as we talked about as well, is a lot of people like to skip steps early on that some of the veterans didn't skip, like training human bodies in person, watching human bodies move physically, and being able to correct and execute different training tactics with individuals. And they're trying to kind of jump all the way to program design when they don't necessarily know how to tell somebody how to even do a push-up. Yeah. So it's like...
And also talking to people.
And speaking.
And even if you're working online, you
have to be communicated.
You're still communicating.
Yeah.
And you still have to be able to recognize like patterns with clients and read between the lines and those kinds of things. And a lot of people are just trying to skip all that together because they think, oh, I can work online behind my computer and never have to see anybody. Yeah. And it's like, yes, that's true. And I talked about this at the my PEC presentation, because it's so valuable to have in-person skills. All of those translate online.
And good communicator skills.
Yeah.
Like you need to be able to communicate with humans that aren't necessarily communicating with you correctly. You have to be able to get them to speak, get them to talk to you, and have them answer hard questions. So a lot of times, like check-in questions will not be open-ended. They'll be yes, no, rate 1 to 10. And it's like, no, you got to get them to speak to you. You have to, and I was just like putting on my story today about a client who said, this is TMI, and I'm like, no, actually, because you said this and told me these things, I can arrive at this protocol for you. Like, I need to know the TMI. I need to hear those things. And you don't have to preface it with this is TMI, like I'm your coach, like
Yeah.
give it all to me. Because
we've heard everything.
We've heard everything.
And we need to hear those things,
Yes.
to your point, in order to make the proper
Yes.
changes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a really, really great point. I would say one of the things that bothers me, I guess, hot take, is that there is just so much sensationalizing of things.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like this is particularly bad in the fitness and health and wellness space, like particularly bad. And people try to take complex things and break them down too simplistically. And the goal should always be to take complicated information and make it simple as possible, but not simpler.
Yes.
Right? We don't need to make it simpler than it needs to be. And we don't need to say, hey, if you have this, like people aren't just flowcharts. We don't get to say, oh, you have this? Okay, well, you got to do this. Mm-hmm. I mean, to some degree, yes. But that's, again, where coaching comes in to be like, all right, these are kind of the principles that we're operating off of. But then the individual variation is going to come from these weekly check-ins or however you're operating, on a consult basis, whatever it is. But like, that's where like the human interaction is coming from.
Yeah.
And I feel
like about people being like super dogmatic and like, I only believe in this.
Yeah.
This is the only way to train. This is the
social
only
media
way.
has made this so bad because people's attention span has continuously gotten shorter. So what happens is people are creating the sensational things because they're trying to get that attention. And then they're trying to convince people of those things. And it's like, hey, your body is pretty complicated.
Yep.
Whether you want to believe that or not, it is. And we can break this down. We don't need to make it overcomplicated, right? But like, we can't just make these little snippets and these like hot takes and like these 10-second things. Like you can only, I don't know. I just feel like the social media has completely fucked up the space in that sense to where what is rewarded, so people are showing these crazy things. And this is, I guess, a pet peeve, which is related, but sort of unrelated. When people post like these big accounts, right? They'll post these reels with like these partner workouts. And it's like the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. Like, it looks like an obstacle course. Like, they're basically like, they're doing crazy stuff in this like partner workout.
Yeah.
And it's like, grab a partner and try this. And it's like, for what?
For what purpose? To die?
And then, but like,
or to hurt myself?
And it's like, but why? Like, I don't get that. But again, it's a 12 seconds.
Yeah.
It's edited great.
Yeah.
It's right music. And I'm not dogging content like that because listen, we make short form content with sounds and good editing. And that is, if that's getting people healthier, like I'm for it. But what that does over time is if that's only what's being shown, then people are like, oh, well, to get that body, then I train like this.
I need to do this.
And the other, I guess, another hot take, another unpopular opinion is coaches. I think the other thing that this has done is it's completely shifted people's perspective of what dieting and maintaining body composition actually looks like, because people are showing like, oh, look what my client did. They're eating 300 carbs and not doing cardio, and look at what they look like.
Yeah.
Bitch. First of all, especially if we're talking
there's
about
a lot of
competitors,
background information,
especially if we're talking about competitors. We all know damn well that that's not what happened. You did that for 2 days. This person was eating 40 carbs and doing 2 hours of cardio a day for the past 12 weeks.
Yeah. And now we're here.
Blow me with this thing that you're trying. Oh, I only did 10 minutes of cardio a week. Really? Oh, that's interesting. Because I saw you on the treadmill.
Yeah.
It's just like these things, and what it does to either the experienced dieter, right? Talk about high diet age.
Yeah.
The person with,
they think they did something wrong.
Normal genetics.
Yeah.
The person who hasn't been training their whole life. The person who isn't a freak athlete. Yeah. They're like, oh my God, why am I not losing fat like this? And
why can't it be that easy for me? Or why am I here?
Because that's the smallest percentage of people. So,
and coaches will oftentimes continue to perpetuate, and they might not mean to do this, but this is the client who allows them to do this. And, I have to constantly remind myself, yes, this client allows me to share them. So that's awesome. But what do my other clients on my roster think when I'm only sharing this person?
Yeah.
So I will say, from a coaching and marketing standpoint, it is hard as a coach
Oh, yeah.
to get all of our bodies to agree to allow their body to be shown. But I think that as coaches, we need to be cognizant of the bodies that we're constantly showing.
Yes.
Whereas a lot of times people, like, I don't show a body that's not on my coaching roster. I don't think you do it either. Like, maybe like people like will reshare a body that they've had success with, but they're not currently coaching.
Oh, no.
Like a past client or somebody that's they're not working with anymore. No, that's like a really common thing.
Oh,
Yeah. But to me, I would never want to do that. First off, I wouldn't want the person whose body that is to be like, geez, I'm not even working with you anymore. Like,
yeah.
have you not had anybody new since then to be able to promote? But yeah, so that's a pet peeve of mine is people doing that constantly. And it's like kind of the same body over and over and over again. Or my favorite, and I don't want to dismiss pregnancy and like postpartum and like losing postpartum weight and the importance of that. But I mean, realistically, like of that's going to happen a lot of cases when you have a client postpartum. And then, you know, it's also not that easy for a lot of women postpartum. So like it's a fine line for me on like how that's done in a well done way.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time with that because I'm like, is that success or just the body going back to what it was at before?
Dude, I have a hard
they
time
were
even
pregnant?
just showing just physical changes in general because there's a few
There's
things.
so many things that go on behind a physical progress picture. I know.
Yeah. And so I rarely do it anymore. I've kind of gotten away from it. Well, there's a few reasons. One, the people who are sharing a lot of that are going to be the more like the competitors, right? Who are going to have the more extreme results.
Yeah.
You know, and the lifestyle
And they
clients.
agree to do it. They agree to show it.
They're putting stuff out themselves a lot of times, you know, or they're taking pictures more regularly, or they're better at taking pictures because they take them more. Like all
Or
these
they
kinds
have
of
their
things.
own social account, so they're fine with it.
There's a lot of facets as to why people do that. But just in general, it's so hard because it's like there's so much more to the change here that we can't encapsulate in this physique transformation.
Yeah.
And that's not to downplay the physique transformation, but it's to like, I want to highlight the other things. But it's really hard to showcase that on social media because people are just kind of like, oh, well, this is boring. Or I guess they don't know what they're doing. And it's like, no, that's the total opposite approach.
Yeah.
So that can be really frustrating sometimes.
We've been doing a lot of like, we'll do a swipe and hoping the people swipe that they can read the context behind it a little bit more. And instead of depending on them to read the caption, we put like a slide about the context or showing, you know, different trends in their scale weight and how things have been achieved. And we've done more showing before the deficit and what progress takes place before the deficit. We've been pretty adamant about that. But yeah, so that's like a weird, like hot take that things are getting kind of fishy and in the industry a little bit is like progress photos and like how I like now that people can edit, like I don't put it past,
God.
I don't put it past.
You don't think that?
If the athlete is editing their own photos, I don't think that they would not edit their clients' photos.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. I know it's awful, but I think it happens too.
Oh,
I mean, you can change, like even with me, like I feel so bad sometimes when I see really good progress, but the the different photos that they've sent don't really showcase, like the lighting looks better in the one where and then I feel bad. I'm like, I'm looking at one with worse lighting and here they are with better lighting. So of course their body's going to look better as well. So even those like things go in my head as well. There was something else that was a hot take that I was
oh my God, there's so many. We could definitely do a follow-up on that. What is something you've changed your mind about that you once thought was a game changer? So like you maybe used it all the time where you thought it was more important than it maybe is now.
Well, I would say it was progress photos. The first probably 10 years of my coaching, I never put a progress photo up. It wasn't until I started building, like I would put it on my story, but I wouldn't make it an actual post. And until I was building a team, I was like, you know, there is value in this because it does allow somebody, hopefully, to see themselves in that client. And so I do see the value in. So that's definitely a hot take because took me a while to be able to agree to that, to be like showing progress photos.
Yeah.
Because I just, you know, I feel like there's ways that you can highlight things wrong or incorrectly and I was always the client on a former coach's roster, and I always felt like I wasn't achieving anything, that I was this lamb on a team of lions. And I always compared myself to that coach's clients that they would post, and I never got posted. And I never wanted to put that on my clients either. Was like, oh, I'm not the one that gets posted about.
It's so hard to navigate all those
and even
emotions.
then, like, I'll do a consult call with a client and they're coming over to my roster because they're like, I felt like I was not being paid attention to. I felt like I wasn't getting the right coaching because I wasn't allowing my progress photos to be shared. And I'm like, oh, that breaks my heart. Like, you should, just because you don't want your face and body on the internet doesn't mean you shouldn't get coached.
Oh my goodness.
Correctly. So again, I've always been kind of like anti-progress photos because I also like didn't want, I had those same thoughts as a client.
Yeah, that is absolutely heartbreaking. Like, when I hear that, I'm just like, oh my gosh, that just bothers me so much that someone would feel that way.
I definitely had that feeling at one point.
Yeah, man. I would say for me, I mean, there's a lot of things that I've
I was about to say
changed.
it was on topic.
Of course, there's a million things, but I would say that I've become much more flexible with my approach. And I feel like coming up when I, really started heavily coaching and was in, the kind of group that I was in, and that kind of, the evidence-based group, so to speak. And, there's a lot of great things within that mindset and that community. But they can be very dogmatic in terms of, hey, there are studies on this. If there's not, then that's just bro science, right? Like, that was kind of the prevailing thing for a while. And, as someone who, was in school and doing research, and like, that's just how your brain is focused to work. Now I have a much broader like approach, right? Again, like, the fundamentals are there, but like that 20-30% that is going to be very, very client specific. I am so open to a lot of things. And I'm willing to say, like, hey, I have a hunch based on this and this that this could work. Are you interested in trying it?
Yeah.
And maybe it works and it's the best thing for that client, and maybe it doesn't. Yeah. But I'm much more open to trying different approaches, and also not just being like, hey, here's the best way. Yeah. It's like, pretty much, I'll be honest, almost anything will work. Like, almost everything works.
If the client believes it can work.
Yes.
That's...
So if a client is coming and saying, hey, I have these, I want to try this, or I'm interested in that, we can almost make almost anything work if that's going to help them with their adherence and their mindset around this change and all of that.
I think that loops them into the partnership, what you're doing. So looping them in and letting them be a part of the decision making allows them to have more buy-in into the decisions that you guys are making together. That's a big one.
I would say that that's probably been one of my biggest changes just in general. Instead of being like, hey, no, this is kind of the way, or like, there's not really a study on that. Now I'm much more open to, this makes sense. Yeah. For these, this checks out.
For this person. Yeah, let's try it.
And that's where there's going to be a lot of individual variability. And I work with a lot of clients who are just like, they have a lot going on. Like, I would say that my roster is filled with people who are just doing a lot of different things. So it's like, okay, we gotta navigate a lot of different waters. Yeah. So I have to be open. I'm not getting the cookie cutter approach of like, hey, everybody on my team kind of does this. Like, there's a lot of different things that are happening. So that would be probably the biggest thing. There's a million things we could talk about, but that's the biggest thing. Okay, quick one. Favorite and least favorite training movement?
Oh, so favorite training movement. I'm going to have to go with any shoulder variation of a shoulder press. I like the Smith Machine Military. I like the neutral grip. I like the seated plate loaded press. I just like shoulder press.
Do you have a Viking press that every day?
Yes, the standing press.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah, those are great. Yeah, that's it. My gym is insane. Like, I don't think there's a machine we don't have.
I love that gym.
Like, I don't think there's a machine I don't have access to.
It's such a good gym.
Well, but I would say that, like, there is, for every machine, there's another company that might make a better one that we have, but we have every machine.
Yeah, it is absolutely stacked.
Yeah,
it's such like a random gem.
Yeah, it is a random gem.
I love visiting you but I also love visiting for the gym.
Yeah, I know. No, a lot of people say that. Like, it's crazy. And
There's
crazy,
like this hidden gem and like
and like in Louisville, I tell people, oh, I'm a member at Everyday Athletes, and they're like, where? What? And I'm like, how do you not know about this gym? I mean, it's fine that you don't.
Yeah, you're like,
But I also really like the people who run the gym.
Yeah,
like,
you want
they're
it to be
awesome.
bigger. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Favorite would be anything glute related.
Of course. Oh my God. Tell me now.
Obviously. I love training glutes. I love, I just love it. So I would say probably any kind of like hip thrust pattern, like, variation.
I mean, I'll be excited to hip thrust again.
I love hip thrusts. Favorite machine, like random machine, is the Nautilus
leg press,
the squat press
or squat press. Yeah.
No, Cybex. Sorry, Cybex. Squat
I was
press.
wondering. Okay, Cybex. That's one of my favorite machines too.
It's so.
I've
good.
recently recommended that like 3 or 4 times to a lot of at-home clients too. I'm like, if there's one leg press you should invest in that doesn't take up a lot of space for a home gym,
or
Cybex.
A 45 hyper. I love a 45 hyper.
Like just the Roman chair thing, or
no, the 45.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
with the thigh pads, those are great.
I love those.
And those are great for a home
Least
gym.
favorite, fucking split squats. Fuck split squats. And you always try to make me do the quad focus one when we're together. No, I hate it, and I do it, but I grumble.
You think that what I'm making you do is a quad focus one, and it is actually glute focus.
Okay.
Anytime
the way that my quads are set up,
I will debunk you, but it's fine. It's fine. My least favorite is probably going to be, I really just don't like a barbell row. I don't like doing it. I'll do a Pendlay row.
Random.
I'll do a Pendlay row.
You like a Pendlay row better than a barbell row?
Yeah, I don't like, I just feel like I'm just I feel like like it's floating. Like, I feel like I have to it's just floating. It's just floating in midair, and I just feel like it's kind of not giving me the most bang for the buck.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot that can go wrong. If that makes sense.
It's so much that can go wrong.
It's so easy to tweak, but I don't know. I like them every once in a while. I feel like they're like a good.
Or a renegade row, gag me now. Don't like those either.
Okay.
Like renegade
but
rows?
You like back. You like training back.
I love training back. Yeah. Like, I'm just particular in what
back
movements I do, because again, it's like a bang for your buck thing. Like, which one are you getting the most out of?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a renegade row, and it's not a barbell row. I hate to tell anybody that.
Okay. Well, heard it here first, guys.
Yes.
Now you're not going to get that on there. All right. And our last question of this podcast.
Okay.
What is the hardest part of being a coach and owning your own business? Again, this is definitely a whole ass podcast.
This is a whole ass podcast. So what is the hardest thing about being a coach and owning your own business?
I guess it could be or, okay. However you want to tackle it.
So the hardest part we'll start with the hardest part about being a coach is being able to, what's the word I'm looking for? We're both very empathetic individuals. And so if we do have a day where it feels like every email that we open is like an emotional dump.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing that our clients can do to know that every day that or every person that checked in on the same day as theirs, what did that to us. But it happens. And I would say that you just...
It definitely happens in groups for whatever reason.
For whatever reason. If it's going to happen at the first email I open up, it's going to be all the emails I open up that day. And as a coach, you have no expectation of what your work day is going to take on you in terms of that emotional toll. Like, you just don't know. Like, you have no idea, and you have to, be able to disconnect from that. That's why I'm like really, really adamant now, whereas I used to not be, about the end of my work day is now. It's 8:30. Like, I am not doing any more work past 8:30 unless it's an absolute need. And it's typically not the emotionally draining work. Like, it's not a check-in. Like, if I haven't answered you by 8:30, I got to be done, because I'll carry that stuff into my bedtime. Mm-hmm. Like, I won't be able to sleep. I'll toss and turn. And it's just, I think, because we're highly empathetic individuals. Like, some people who are coaches surprisingly aren't super empathetic, and they can kind of just shut that down. So I would say that that's like one of my biggest challenges.
It is so hard. Mm-hmm. And, we want to give we want that from our clients.
I do. I want you to dump it on me. I need to know.
We have to know that.
I know.
But
it's like
still,
we need it.
It still is a challenge.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't mean it doesn't affect us.
Exactly. And I would say that the more that I've done this, the better that I get at compartmentalizing. Like I've certainly gotten better at this. Because before it used to be like really, really crushing. And at some point you do have to detach because you realize, okay, this is spilling over into my other work and everything else in my life. But some days, like you said, it's just like everybody's on one, everybody's on something. And those are the days where it really is draining. And that's where it's important to be able to set, okay, like here are my boundaries. Here's when I work best. Everybody's going to be different.
Like I'm a morning person. Like if I need to do more work, I need to do it in the morning hours when I'm in a better headspace.
For me, I like doing stuff in the morning, but I have to do my stuff in the morning because that allows me to balance out. And if I'm not saying that I get to do it every day, but in a perfect world and in a way that I can control it on most days, I will try to do that. Now, sometimes it's not possible. Sometimes it's like, hey, you have 2 hours in the morning to get this done and then you have to go to this other shit. Okay, I'm going to work at the unideal time. It happens a lot.
Yeah, it happens.
But if we're talking about an ideal day, I'm going to do my stuff first, which gets me in the position to be able to handle that and navigate it much better. So yeah, I would say that that's probably the hardest thing, and that's never going to not be the hardest thing.
Yeah.
It's just the reality, but it still is hard. But it's part of our job description. And I would say in terms of owning a business, I think that, and I never want to say this because I feel like it comes off as like complaining, and I never want it to sound like that. But sometimes I just feel like with owning a small service-based business, a lot of people don't take into account that like you are the person who's pretty much doing everything. Like you are the person who, like, you're not a big corporation.
No.
Like it's me.
It's me.
When people, don't pay on time or they cancel without giving any explanation
or any notice,
or they expect things,
or they don't answer your emails when you're I'm
like,
hey, I'm over here, like I need to know some answers
like
here.
I see this and it can just sometimes feel like very like dehumanizing almost, right, where it's like people just don't understand because again that toll that we take, like we feel all of those things. So sometimes it kind of feels like people like want to give or want to have a lot of emotional connectivity when they want it, but then when they don't, they're just like, well, they have a big, it's fine. Like
it's fine. I'm just a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're really not.
You're not. Yeah.
Like you're not. I would like to hear from you.
Yes.
Can you answer my email, please?
I never know how to say that without it sounding like, I don't know what the word is, but I never want it to come across in a certain way, but it is like, hey, it's me.
But at the same time, like I'm also not like, I can't afford to just continuously chase either. I have so many moving pieces. So like if you don't answer my one email or if you're not checking in this week, like if I don't hear from you for 2 weeks, I might be like, hey, where you been? But I'm not like, we're all adults here.
Yeah. I'm not on your
ass because, there's all like different levels to this.
Also, some people do need, like we all need a week sometimes.
Yeah. Believe me, there's been times where I did not check in and I didn't want you to tell me I wasn't checking in either.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like don't tell me. I know I didn't.
Yeah. But yeah.
So I want to give my clients that space too.
Yes.
For sure.
So I just feel like sometimes though people just forget that like you are the person behind this.
Yeah.
And that, it like we're not Amazon. You know what I mean?
Or like for you and I, because we're similar, like that we have, like we don't have a marketing team. We don't have a production team. Like we don't have some of the things that other teams may have. And we're literally like wearing that many hats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wearing as many hats as possible.
Yeah. Like I can't even remotely name all the hats.
Yeah.
Right now.
We have a hat closet that needs to be cleaned out, but it's not going to be.
Yeah. I mean, it just, when you're a smaller business, a smaller team, it's just the way that it goes. It's just the way it is. Like there's nothing I can do to change that.
Yeah. And I just, again, it's not I don't really know what
the
phrase is.
But I think you and I ultimately enjoy coaching too. And I think that there's people who are in this space to do other things with coaching and not coach. Like they want to use coaching as another vehicle for something else, which is totally fine. But again, I think it's just different than how we operate too. Like our businesses are just different.
Yeah.
And I used to think I was wrong for like there was times 2 years ago where I was like, so I'm not supposed to want to coach anymore. I'm supposed to only want to mentor other coaches, and I'm supposed to like get into this whole like wheelhouse too. And it's like, no, I actually love coaching. I actually, yeah.
We're meant to be coaches.
Yeah.
Like we've pretty much settled on it. Like and I love doing other things just because I am somebody who needs to do a lot of different things mentally. But coaching has been and always will be my bread and butter. And then like I always say, coach and educator.
Yeah.
So the education piece is obviously for my clients, but it's also like the other things that I do, like speaking, writing, learning, whatever it is, sharing that knowledge. But that always comes second to coaching.
Well, and I think that could also go into like the last thing that what's hard about being a business now is that because of this perpetuation of short form content and highly entertaining content, that it's like we have to be coach, educator, and entertainer. And this like entertainment section, I have a really difficult time with personally, because that part of me exists and I'm good at it, but I can't be emotionally drained from coaching. So it's like I can't put on my hat of being an entertainer, like on a reel and creating a script and like acting this out for a 15-second clip if I just got through 8 powerfully draining check-ins.
Dude, absolutely. I always say like I can do all these things, but I can't do them on the same day. Yeah. And I also need I need to do like check-ins, and then I need like a woosah. And then then I do
transition to something else.
And transitional work, and then I can do the creative stuff. But I can't be like, hey, I got an hour, let me be creative. No,
I know.
The environment has to be a certain way, and that's why creative people, the way that they think, like they operate differently. So like trying to do all of these things is very hard.
But like the entertainer level of coaching, or like what the internet has created or social media has created for coaching, is really, really stressful.
And just like the level of editing. There's, again, some people are really good at editing.
Yeah.
But it's like, the high level of content, but it's like, is that coaching?
And I always encourage people to look at people's content for, are you looking at their content because they're entertainment, or are you consuming their content because you would actually pay them to be your coach? Like there are 2 different things there at play. And yes, somebody can disseminate really awesome education material and have a good entertainment value, and I love that for them, but they may not be a good coach. That doesn't always correlate. Like just because they have all the educational material, but doesn't mean they're going to be the great coach.
Absolutely. I think that is a perfect place to end.
Yeah.
And this was so fun. And I feel like there's some topics that we could definitely do for like a full episode.
We really could.
I mean? Yeah. We really probably should do a follow-up. So
maybe. Comment what topic y'all liked us to go into.
Yes. Speaking that into existence now, we're going to do it.
Okay.
So speaking of social media, our favorite place, drop your
So you can find me on Instagram at Chanel Collette, and then you can also find me at audaciousathletes.com and my team and everything that we do there.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it. That is the best way that we can get this information out and that we can get the show to grow.
Heck yeah.
For more information on our coaching services and everything else that we have, you can visit teamlocafit.com. So once again, thank you guys so much for listening. Hope this was enjoyable and fun.
And happy birthday!
Hey. Thank you. So we'll talk to you guys next week.